Hello, greetings from East Central Indiana, and welcome to week 3 of ministerial formation. This week we begin to focus on the primary focus and direction, intent of the course. Spiritual formation and faith development go hand in hand. Although everything really in the previous 2 weeks and even in week 0, all of these things lead up to and inform any conversation we have in thinking about and practicing spiritual formation. There is this week a narrated PowerPoint which is to introduce you to faith and faith formation in the context of this course and the overall goal and intent of this course. I also spend some important time considering the thinking and work of James Fowler and his important work in the area of faith formation and how it relates to spiritual formation. This is basic stuff. I mean, basic in the sense of it provides us a base for where we're going. We also this week begin reading Parker Palmer's little book, Let Your Life Speak. First 3 chapters, they're short chapters. I wish we could spend time on each chapter individually, but we can't in order to accomplish the overall goals of this course. So this week we'll look at chapters 1, 2, and 3. And I've also provided a brief video about Palmer because he's an important thinker in this area, and his personal story that we read in Let Your Life Speak really informs our whole thinking about what it means to become a fully formed follower of Jesus Christ. That is, as usual, followed by an invitation to reflect on all of this, what you read and watched, and what's going on inside you as you read and write. I think one of the underlying truths that I want to underscore at this point in this week is that all that we're doing is really about a process. Martin Buber, the great Jewish philosopher and thinker, wrote, "All real living is meeting." By this, I think he meant that human existence is fundamentally about relationships, or as Buber might have said, human existence is fundamentally interpersonal. In that context, I want you to understand that life consists, you know all of this, but life consists of comings and goings, of ups and downs, of ecstasies and depressions, meetings and farewells. And as a statement of faith in the middle of all of that, the God who wants the best for us is at work in all those things to bring about good for us and for God's world. What we mean by faith and how we live faithfully is in nearly every respect what this whole course is about. Your definition of faith, my definition of faith, what it means to live faithfully, these are really, I don't know how much more fundamental we can get in a course like this. As individuals who affirm our allegiance to Jesus Christ, we are called to live our lives as faithful followers of Jesus. As leaders, pastors, educators, we are also called to live faithfully and guide others into living faithfully. A big challenge, right? We are human beings. We affirm as part of our creed that we are created beings. We are created by God, who is a certain kind of God. We believe that we can have with whom we believe we can have a relationship. We can have a relationship with the Creator God of the universe who expects us to live a faithful life. We believe even more astonishingly, I think, that we are created in the image of God and called to live faithfully out of that powerful theological affirmation. But what is faith? We have to ask. We assume we know what it is. We think we know what it is. We may preach it and teach it. What is faith? How is faith developed? How do we live faithfully? What about living faithlessly, even as we work to live faithfully? And what do we mean anyway when we say we have a relationship with God and the world keeps changing and telling us how we're to live? We affirm these things and, as I often say, choose agency. Remember that word. We have agency to choose to live as if they are not simply true, but the truth. Capital T, perhaps. As we come to the beginning of this new focus, personal, spiritual, and faith formation practices, we need to find ground on which to do so. The question becomes how I live faithfully in a challenging world, where the message about what it means to live faithfully, or whether we can even live faithfully, is prevalent. Many years ago, Paul Tournier, a Christian counselor, wrote a book called The Whole Person in a Broken World, in which he explored this question, in which he provides a still relevant assessment from a Christian perspective of how to live in a world as confused and as confusing as this one. He suggests strongly that humans are called and enabled by God to live as faithful, whole persons who can serve as healers in the world. We face this question in this course and may find answers in the consideration of discipleship, also known as spiritual formation. Faith is at the center of our lives and our formation as human beings and as Christians. You're invited to examine seriously and personally your own journey through the work and thinking of Buber and Fowler and Palmer and Kelly. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say.